There are different roast levels that the coffees go through. Post processing it, if the farm decides it's going to be a washed or a pulse and dried or an actual, the coffees now go to a curing work center, which will be available like one in the entire state, and it will be in this form with a parchment. So parchment is like the second last cover in your coffee. If I have to show you, it opens up this way like peanuts. So this is a cover. They get rid of this in the huller before sending it to your roaster partner. And what your favorite roaster might be receiving are these green beans, which sort of have like this silver skin on top of it. This is just to make sure that whenever someone's roasting coffee, they get the roaster to a certain temperature and then introduce the green beans to it. If there is no silver skin on top of it, what will happen is there will be some spotting on your green beans. Like they will roast in some, like it will be an uneven roast, to put it simply. Uh, there'll be a lot of charring, and if you take out the green beans, there will be a lot of black marks and a evenly roasted brown beans. So a silver skin is very, very important before introducing it to your roaster. You take something as simple as peanuts, for example. You put it in a hot iron pan. What happens is eventually it starts getting rid of that brown layer that's on top of it before you get the final product. So in roasting, you introduce your green beans with silver skin. Now the first step that happens is when so this is a roast level, like how it eventually gets to a medium dark to dark roast. Is that it will sort of become like a pale color before it starts changing it. So this changing of color is called a Maillard reaction. This is when your sucrose, which are present in the coffees, are now turning to sugar. So all the flavor aspects, right? The development that's happening, whatever is mentioned on the pack, like on this pack, for example, it's written Baker's chocolate, roasted nuts, and cedar. All this is happening during the roasting process, and it really depends on how light or dark you're going to understand what particular flavor notes are you going to get out of the particular coffee. Now, when I say flavors, it's not like if it's written orange, then I'll be tasting oranges. No, there will be some nuances of oranges which are present in the coffee, which the cupper has tasted after roasting it. It's not a legit rule that whatever the cupper has tasted, you will also taste, because everyone's palate is a different. So you have to take this information with a grain of salt. Where if the cupper is saying it has taste notes of oranges, what he means that is it can have the acidity of oranges and not actual taste of oranges. So when they say flavor notes, it's both the flavor, actual taste, and also the aroma of the coffee, not just the final sip. So when you're roasting the coffee, it goes through certain chemical changes. First, what you can see is the pale color. This is when you start getting a little grassy smell, or you can understand, okay, now the coffee has actually started roasting and it's getting rid of the moisture level that is present in the beans. Eventually, as it gets darker, it will get to this orange sort of tan color. This is when you know that, okay, now the sugars have started like really breaking down, and it's going to start coating the green beans. So both your breaking down of the sugars and the color changes due to a chemical reaction is known as Maillard reaction. And Maillard reaction is not something that is limited to coffee in general. You can see it in your day-to-day cooking also. Even if you're cooking like potatoes, or just put some sugar on hot pan and you'll see those chemical changes which is happening. What will happen is the sugar will first become a little translucent, then it will start taking this yellowish hue, it will become brown, and eventually it will start caramelizing. This is when your coffee is at first crack. In first crack is like one of my favorite aspects in coffee. This is when your development time also starts. So first crack is basically all the moisture that was trapped inside the beans starts coming out, and you can hear this popcorn like popping sound from the roaster. you can either decide to take the coffee out from the roaster at this stage, or you can decide to go a little further and roast it to to a light medium or a darker coffee. So post crack comes development time. Development time will vary between 15 to 30 seconds. Like when it comes to coffee roasting, even that 1 second is very integral, and it can definitely change your end tasting cup as well. So you will during the first crack initially comes at an 8 to 10 minute stage, depending on the batch size, the size of your roaster, and what coffee you're roasting. So first crack is when your light medium happens. If you want to go to second crack, that is when you get your dark roasted coffees. The best way to recognize a dark roasted coffee is just take some beans in your hand and you'll be able to see oils on them. If you decide to go further, push second crack, now all your sugars will start turning into carbon and your coffee will eventually taste very charred or burnt. So max, I my suggestion would be to go up till dark. If you're someone who brews and enjoys a very heavy bodied cup or wants to add some milk to it, don't go past that. So what I'll do is
No, it's
post
good till
this
now.
roasting
It's
session.
going good till
Yeah,
now. Yeah,
sorry.
it's very
Okay,
good till
thank you
now.
so much.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so post your roasting. Sure. Espresso roast is something which is going to be tasting very compatible with your espresso machine. So it should be a roast level where your fruity notes that are coming through should still be should be present, but there should be a bittersweet note to it as well. Like espresso roast is something which has to be very dynamic, right? Like, cause your espresso machine is not limited to just espresso. You're going to be brewing americanos with it, so you're ideally going to dilute it with either water or steamed milk or flavors or chocolate powders, or there's a lot of stuff that's happening. So in espresso roast, it's to put it simply, it should have characteristics which are very very dynamic, and it should be able to cater to everyone's palate. So if someone's looking for a fruitier espresso, they should be able to get it. If someone enjoys a little bitterness in their cup, they should be able to get it. So simply, if I had to decide my espresso roast, firstly, I will not just use one single coffee. I will either try to blend a Robusta or a Arabica, or I will try to blend a medium with a medium dark coffee or a medium or a dark coffee together, so that I am able to get those fruity notes and also get those bitter, like good bittersweet notes in the end. And when I say bittersweet, I mean bittersweet like dark chocolate. I don't mean absolutely bitter like lemon tea. If you want to learn more, if you want to find out more on coffee, there's a lot of content that we've been putting out on YouTube from our last session, even on this one. And there's a lot of behind the scenes that happens in our offices as well that we tend to put out. So you could definitely follow us on Instagram for more news on coffee, more trivia on coffee, more education on coffee. We have our YouTube page, which is youtube.com slash something's brewing. There are very interesting guides that we've put out on our website on somethingsbrewing.in. Just go on our website, check under guides. We have something for someone who's trying to understand the nuances of brewing a good cup at home, and also general coffee information, a coffee guide. It's free for download. So I really hope you guys check it out, because it's really good information that will definitely help you in brewing a good cup at home. Thank you so much for attending our session. Do drop us recommendations on what you guys want to learn more. If you want more of these sessions, if you guys want to co-host a session with us as well, suggestions on topics, suggestions on brewer we should brew with, suggestions on coffees that you want us to try out, give you recommendations, and also please feel free to send in your recipes as well. We'll be more than happy to try out during these sessions. Thank you so much once again.